Hello, everybody. My name's Stephen, and I'm a partner here at Wellhouse. And I would just like to first say that on behalf of my wife and my daughter, Andy and Jamie, we are so thrilled to be a part of this wonderful church family. And I am thrilled and honored and blessed to be here with you this afternoon. Love and forgiveness. As Christians, they are at the top of what we should be all about. The Bible gives us example after example of the importance of being loving and forgiving. God showed his love for us in the most popular verse in the Bible, John 3:16. And Jesus displayed what I believe to be the ultimate act of forgiveness when he asked his Father, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." In fact, I would hazard to say you can't have one without the other. Proverbs 7:19 tells us, "Love prospers when a fault is forgiven." The Bible even instructs us how many times we are to forgive. Matthew 8:22. So you may be wondering what my point is. Well, actually, it's not a point or points. It's a couple of questions. They're simple questions, but they can be very involved if you take time to be still for a moment, be honest with yourself, and answer them with that honesty. And they are, how well do we as Christians practice love and forgiveness? Do we sometimes struggle with the forgiveness part? Are we quick to say, "I love you," but slow to say, "I forgive you"? For years, I didn't know how to do either. I didn't know how to love, and I didn't know how to forgive. Worse yet, I didn't know how to be loved, and I didn't believe I was worthy of forgiveness. Growing up, I had no good examples to follow, and that caused a lot of pain. And my inabilities in these two areas caused a lot of pain for others. Even when I got back on the right path and renewed my relationship with God, I still struggled. Then something happened that would change my life forever. I was given the greatest earthly example of love and forgiveness anyone could ask for. And it came from the most unlikely source. It was May 20th, 2018. It was a Sunday afternoon. It was my birthday. I was sitting on Facebook thanking everybody for their birthday wishes. And suddenly the messenger window popped open. And I'm going to read a couple of portions of the message that came across, or messages that came across over the next little while. The first one: "Steve, somehow I came across your Facebook page. After wandering through the decades, now and then, what had become of your life, I see that God answered my prayers of long ago. Those prayers could come only after I had healed, which took quite some time. I'm elated for the path you are on. Happy birthday, and I do believe your parents would be very proud." My response to that was very short, very concise. I said, "Thank you so much, and thanks for the prayers. It's been a long road, but God was waiting at the end. I am so blessed." That was it for that moment. And then I woke up on the 21st to an additional message that had been sent at 1:18 in the morning. And it said, "I have a sense you do not really know who I am. Would that be accurate? It only matters because I needed acknowledgement, I think, and I believe your response was sincere, but not a realistic reaction, at least in my world. You do not need to feel you must respond. I wrestled with reaching out, but simply wanted you to know I forgave you. Prayed and am blessed to know God answered my long ago prayers. Continue your path. It's the only thing that truly matters. This is my unexpected closure, and I thank Jesus for that. No response necessary, truly. I write for me, and you are a chapter in my book that is for His glory, not mine, humbly." Like I said, I woke up to that, so at 9 o'clock in the morning, 9:18 to be exact, I responded to that message that came in overnight. And I said, yes, I know. I apologize for my answer being so measured. I have learned over time to be so, especially with my past. I spent too many years reacting, and that never worked out well for me. To say I was caught off guard would be an understatement, but it wasn't in a bad way. I too have wondered as I've driven past certain reminders, as I travel around town in my work with the homeless, and many prayers have been offered over the years. Thank you for your forgiveness. It means more than you know. It truly is another step in my healing that for me is a continuing process. And then a few days later, this person told me something that I never thought I would ever hear, especially from her. When she told me I was back then the love of her life, and that I still was. Those messages came from my wife, Andy, whom I married the first time when she was 18 years old. And I can tell you, of all the people whose paths I had crossed throughout my life, of all the people I had done wrong, she was the one that had the most reason to not forgive me, to never forgive me after what I'd done to her in our first marriage. Even more so, for me to still be the love of her life all these years later. 40 years had passed. We had not seen or talked to each other. Didn't even know if each other was alive. And she could still say that to me. That was when I learned how to be forgiven, and I learned how to be loved. And that is such a good feeling. It's an amazing feeling. It's a blessing that all of us can wrap our head around. In these times that we're going through now, there's a lot of turmoil. There's a lot of questions being asked, and not so many answers yet coming across the board that are clear. But I can tell you one thing. Whether it be COVID-19, whether it be the unrest we're seeing, whatever it is, whether it's something personal in your life, or whether it's something as broad as the national issues we face, we cannot move forward as a society. We will not move forward as a society if we can't do two things: love and forgive. And truly forgive. Because what happens when you love and truly forgive? A process begins. And that process includes understanding, compassion. That process brings about wanting to help others. And it brings about what we need more than anything else: healing. So, if you were like me and you had a little difficulty in knowing how to love, knowing how to forgive, or even believe you were worthy of love and forgiveness, I can tell you all of those issues were settled on a hill called Calvary. No matter what you've done, no matter the road you've traveled, you are never too far gone for God. God bless you. Have a great rest of the week.